Hello there, you're watching Bizworld. The Debt Management Committee DMC has endorsed the federal government's 2020 borrowing program, which includes the option of issuing an additional tranche of the Samurai bond. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the decision was made during the DMC meeting on December 2nd, where the committee had also discussed on action plans to manage the government's debt and liabilities. The government also targets to lower its debt and liabilities to 65% of gross domestic product GDP by end 2025 from 77.1% as of end June 2019. On Malaysia's total external debt, which stood at 931.1 billion ringgit as of end June 2019, Lim said only 190 billion ringgit of the external debt belonged to the government through its direct debt. The direct debt in the first quarter of 2018 stood at 705 billion ringgit, which rose to 799.1 billion ringgit in the second quarter of 2019. This was to finance development expenditure, fiscal deficit and debt repayments, including for One Malaysia Development Berhad 1 MDB. The Islamic Banking and Finance Institute Malaysia, IPFIM, and University Science Islam Malaysia, USIM, aims to train 200 auditors with Certified Professional Sharia Auditors, CPSA, annually. According to Deputy Finance Minister Dato' Amiruddin Hamzah, this will create a greater transparency and accountability for Islamic financial institutions, IFIs, in providing products and services.
Program yang seumpama ini akan dapat memang berjalan terus kerana selepas ini memang diperlukanlah syariah auditors ni dan mereka ini certified professionals untuk syariah audit, dan kita harap akan dapat memenuhilah kehendak yang industri memerlukan, dan melalui program yang dibuat oleh USIM dan IPFIM ini akan dapat memenuhi kehendak tersebut. Ya.
He was met after the launch of the CPSA. The IFI companies comprises of 16 Islamic banks, 15 takaful operators, 22 Islamic fund management companies and 31 fund management companies operating through Islamic windows, with assets under management of 158.8 billion ringgit. Under the Bank Negara Malaysia's Financial Sector Blueprint 2011-2020, the financial sector would require a workforce about 200,000 in 2020 from 144,000 employees at present. Sime Darby Plantation Berhad SDP said its board of directors has approved the company's divestment of its entire 100% stake in Sime Darby Plantation Liberia Inc. to Mano Palm Oil Industries. In a filing to Bursa Malaysia today, SDP said this decision was part of the company's current asset monetization exercise, which includes the divestment of underperforming assets or assets that have achieved its full value potential for disposal. SDP also confirmed that the government of Liberia has consented to the divestment. The transaction was expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2020. AirAsia Group Berhad expects its non-airline ticketing business to contribute 60% to revenue from about 20% currently in the next 5 years. According to Group Chief Executive Officer Tan Sri Tony Fernandez, going forward, its revenue is expected to be driven by its financial technology, Big Pay, its newly opened Santan restaurant, and its entrance in the music industry with the launch of its record label, Red Records.
Obviously, 95% of our business right now, 90% of our business, actually less, about 80% of our business is airline tickets, right? That's going to shift more and more and more. Where do we arrive? I don't know. You sell 5-6 million old-style CDs. I don't know how you term it, but concerts and shows and all, Red Records could be a contributor, right?
Yeah. To date, AirAsia's airline ticketing business constituted 80% of its earnings. Earlier was the group's 50-50 joint venture with Universal Music Group to set up their recording company, Red Records. He added that as AirAsia celebrates 18 years of operations, the group is focused on transforming the airline into a global digital travel and lifestyle leader with this suite of offerings. AFIN Bank Berhad targets to approve 12,000 small and medium enterprise SME loans in 2020. SME Banking Director Lim Ki-yong said the bank would approve 1,000 applications a month, which sums up to 12,000 in a year.
In fact, government has lots of startup financing activities, financing available. So the bank come into place to collaborate with some of these infra. Minimally, we will start within the next couple of months, minimally 25 to 50 million. Beyond which, we continue to add on. Internally, we don't put a cap. Okay, so long as there's a need, there's a market, we'll do it. So long as commercially acceptable to both the startup as well as the bank.
He was met at AFIN Bank SME Biz Chat 2019 Startup Today Breakthrough today. AFIN Bank, he said, would start with a minimum of 100,000 ringgit loan and go up to 300,000 ringgit. Previously, the government announced that it is aiming for SMEs to achieve 50% contribution to the GDP by 2030 from the current 38%. That's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for staying with us and keep tuning in to TV3.